Cannabis Canada Society.
Cannabis in Canada.
Cannabis and Canada Society, and thank you guys so much for coming. Sensible BC is also doing an audio recording of the training because we want to be able to train as many people as possible how to talk to people, how to canvass, and how to represent the issue well. So I'm Tammy Lee Meyer.
I'm Nick Whitehead, and obviously that's Dana Larson.
Yay! So we're here today to talk about our campaign as well as train people in how to canvass well. So Dana, maybe I can just invite you up to talk a little bit about the campaign.
Well, this is exciting seeing everybody here. Thanks for coming. And you know, we've got people all around the province. We got Cindy here from Kelowna who's leading the crew out there, working in Kelowna. We got other people in Victoria and other areas as well that are canvassing and getting people involved. I assume if you're here, you kind of know what the campaign is about. We're working on getting signatures and pre-registering folks for the next while. Come September, we need to get 400,000 plus signatures from all around the province. By getting everybody trained up and by getting people into our database and pre-registered now, it gives us a big head start come September because it's a monumental effort to collect all those signatures when the time comes. But the campaign's been going really well. A lot of things have really fallen into place for us since we launched the campaign really. And today's going to be a really good day. We had a lot of fun at 420. It was a huge event. Today's going to be a bit smaller of an event, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. There's still be a lot of people there. Very friendly audience for us to go and practice some canvassing and collect some signatures and spread the word about what we're trying to do here with Sensible BC. And really we're going to make history in this province by changing the marijuana laws. You know, all of us have grown up and lived our whole lives under marijuana prohibition. Sometimes it's kind of hard to imagine what it's going to be like or that these laws could even change. But you know, we've had such amazing success in Washington and Colorado. By this time next year, you're going to be able to drive down across the border to Seattle and buy some marijuana over the counter legally and openly. And we should be able to do that here in BC as well. And that's what this campaign is all about. So I'm going to let these two folks do all the training and teaching and give you some guidance. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two as well. But thank you very much for being here. We're going to have fun. And after this, we're going to head down with the march and march around and smoke some weed and get some signatures and do our thing. So thank you very much. And I'll let these guys take it from here.
Great. So maybe you can take us through some of the nuts and bolts of the campaign as far as
The task.
the task at hand.
Okay. So basically, this is. Oh, hey, how's it going, James? So yeah, basically, the referendum process in BC is very, very difficult. It's only been done once before. But the thing is, we have probably about 75% of British Columbians support exactly what we're trying to do. So we have the numbers, it's just a question of getting the people together to kind of mobilize and gather that many signatures. The way it works is you need to gather 10% signatures from 10% of registered voters in every single district across the province. There's 85 districts, and each one has about, give or take, 40,000 people. So overall, you're looking at 350,000, 400,000 signatures within a 90-day window, which is obviously you need a lot of volunteer capacity to make that happen, which is why it's so important you guys are all here today.
That's like more than 5,000 signatures a day, every day for 90 days being collected around the province.
Exactly.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
None whatsoever. Yeah, that being said, right now we're kind of in the stage of building up our volunteer capacity, getting organizers going in every single district, and then I guess getting ourselves in a position that we have the capacity and the trained personnel to make that happen. So I guess that's kind of a general overview. And yeah, you want to kind of
Great.
jump in?
Perfect. So what I love to do at the beginning of each Canvas training is to just get a sense of who's in the room. So I'm wondering if people are comfortable to just say your name and in one sentence, what brings you to the campaign. So I'll start. My name is Tammy Lee Meyer, and I'm interested in people making a difference by talking to people about the issues that are important to them, in this case, marijuana.
My name is Nick Whitehead. I guess I really believe in making sensible drug policy that's based on facts and on, you know, moral opinions. James, you want to go next?
Okay, Okay, well, we all know that marijuana is like, there's so much politics behind it. We got like literally banker criminals who are using marijuana to fund the people in Mexico. And I got that from the reality check guy. He did this pretty cool thing. And just saying, if you remove prohibition, then you stop 10,000 deaths a year in Mexico. It's pretty huge.
I just want to check in if people are comfortable having the camera on them. Fine, great. If you don't, just let her know.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and just simply I just want the government to stop wasting our money on something that is way less harmful than alcohol and many of the pharmaceutical medications that are prescribed every day.
Great.
My name's Ian. Just for being in this room, I would be fired. The second request. So, I started crashing 60 or something. I started smoking pot when I was 13, sorry, 13. Forms of cannabis. I believe it's stupid, it's retarded, this law. In 1969, the Canadian Royal Commission on marijuana said that if the pot wasn't legalized, organized crime would take over. I think he's right. I have no connections to organized crime whatsoever anymore. I have no connections, none of my family has organized crime connections. That is a dying breed right now. It's time to change the laws, make sensible laws for marijuana, so my kids, my other kids, my grandkids can make their own decisions. That's it.
Thank you.
I'm like Justin, and what brings me here is just basically agreeing with Kayla. Yeah, in a nutshell, basically agreeing with Kayla that these laws are stupid.
My name is Angie, and I'm just helping anyway.
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I like to smoke pot, and I don't think it should be illegal.
Hi, I'm Devin. I think that cannabis prohibition is ridiculous, and that there are better things that our country could spend its time on. And I'm here to try and do my part to change that for everybody.
I'm Elise Gouin. I'm in Maple Ridge, and we have a lot in Maple Ridge to help us. We have the dispenser, and also the killing that happened this week too, to keep people more safe, and the kids too. We have to approach those issues with the people in Maple Ridge too. It's quite a mission, but we got a good base there. It's pretty, yeah. So. The killing is the prohibition that kills. It's not hot. It's a healing plant and a useful plant too. So that's what I'm here for.
Scott, it's going wrong.
Scott.
It's for the cause against them. I've been smoking since 1990. We also with mental health and stuff.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm here for holiday, but I came for the march, and I came to encourage everyone to, keep up with the campaign. It's tedious, and people come and go, and it's a lot of work. But you'll find comfort in this room with these people here. You'll be able to, get a better relationship and get out there, feel more confident. The more friends you have involved in family that will work with you is probably the best thing I can recommend right now. And our team is all friends. We started out as friends, and we all are building on our friendship. We have over 100 likes on Facebook, and most of them are in Kelowna. We have a few out-of-towners, and I think today we even have a couple more. So hopefully I'll meet some people today and encourage you guys and encourage the strangers out there to get involved, right? That's what I want to do with being here today. Thanks.
Well, I'm Dana, obviously, and I'll just say that I've been involved in this movement for like 20 years or more, and this is the first time I feel we actually have a chance to change the law here in Canada and here in BC, and actually make that happen. People have told me from the beginning, oh, it's going to happen any day, it's inevitable, it's around the corner, it's going to happen any minute. I've never believed that. I've always thought I'll be lucky to see these things change in my lifetime. And for the first time in this last year, I feel like, especially because of Washington and Colorado, but also because we hit the tipping point here in BC, and because of the Sensible BC campaign and how well this is going, I feel this is our chance, first chance we've had in a real long time to actually change these laws. And if we change them, there's no looking back, they'll stay changed. But if we fail, there's also no reason why these laws couldn't stay in place for a lot longer in the future. There's no guarantees that, oh, it's inevitable, nothing is inevitable, but we have a chance to make it happen. And I feel pretty good about that.
My name is Jason Wilcox. I'm actually with the Coalition Against Repeal, but I'm here to support Sensible BC primarily. I mean, we're all here about legalization, and it's always been a main objective, I think, for many of us as friends and colleagues. So it's really about community and unity. Like here in BC, I mean, we're progressive. We're like Washington and Colorado. The question is what comes next when we get to legalize? You know, I mean, this is the baby steps too. I mean, we're doing great. BC is way progressive. Statistically, from 500 impact statements from across the country, and the fact that 50% of all federal licenses, being 28,000, reside in British Columbia, we're progressive. So we can make this happen. It's just a matter of how. And using social media, in my own opinion, I mean, that's how Barack Obama got elected. I think that's how we can get this campaign, this agenda pushed through. Thank you.
Great.
My name's Diane Clavo. I work at United We Can, a lot of people down the street. I see a lot of addiction. I know that cannabis can help that, in some cases, even get people off hard drugs or alcohol. I've been smoking since I was 15 and I'm 56 now. Nothing has ever made sense because the federal government's not going to change the laws. This is the first thing that's made sense to me. Working at the platform of Sensible BC. And so it's why.
Chris, did you want to just introduce yourself?
Oh,
Sorry. Mid-cookie.
Yummy cookies.
Yeah. My name is Christine Bowden. I've been smoking marijuana since I was 18. And what I'd like to put forward to politicians is to have cleaner marijuana and to watch out for anybody that's selling vapes or unhealthy weed, toxic weed. So I'd like to put forward that people petition to have unhealthy toxic weed banned and all weed tested.
Awesome. And Corey?
Yeah, I'm Corey Skinner. I'm from Richmond. I just think I love Sensible BC because it's a step forward towards ending the prohibition and also making hemp more available, building for hemp as well.
And my name is Matthew Landry. I'm from back east of Canada. I smoked weed pretty much in every province that there is in Canada. And what I really hate about the prohibition is that all the trees we're cutting down to make papers is causing at least 20% of all the cancers in the world. If you would use hemp for it, you wouldn't need to bleach it, you wouldn't have cancer, you wouldn't have to cut down trees, and it takes, what, 3 months for a plant to regrow compared to 20 years for a tree, and it's going to be a small one. It's stupid stuff like that makes us slave to the country, and I'm really against that.
Fantastic.
All good values.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And I'm always so inspired to hear what brings people to the campaign because there's all the different reasons, and there's many, and it inspires all of us to see what brings us here and why it's important. So thank you, and thank you for your energy in coming here today. I'll just talk a little bit about me for a second. About 12 years ago, I started working with the Wilderness Committee because I was a waiter before that, and I wanted to do something that was meaningful. I could no longer do work that was here's a beer. I wanted to do something that meant something to me, so I started working at the Wilderness Committee, canvassing, knocking on doors, and it really changed my life. It made me understand that by talking to other people about the issues that are important to us, we change minds. And so what we're talking about here with Sensible BC is that same thing. With Wilderness Committee, I was talking about not cutting down trees, not damming rivers, not having fish farms because they're stupid, and not having the Enbridge pipeline, which I'm still passionate about. But this issue, I think, is a no-brainer. It's 80% of Canadians that 74%, anyway.
Yeah,
High
it's like
number.
75 or so, around there, 3/4.
3 out of 4 people think that marijuana should not be illegal. And so I think that it is a common sense solution. And when I talk about, you know, when we're canvassing, I think one of the most important things and why I want to always start, so for you guys when you start to canvass with people, really sit with them and find out what brings them to the campaign, because that's what's going to make sense to people, whether you say it or not. Because if you're sure why you are doing this, whoever you're talking to is already going to be there because they can feel your certainty. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Blink, and in Blink he talks about thin slicing and how you know something really quickly about someone just by their body language and how they present. And so that certainty, that knowing, that is going to translate immediately, because when you're canvassing, you've got about 30 seconds. Maybe 10.
Yeah.
And so knowing why we're here, knowing why we're doing this, that's the game. And so canvassing is, for this issue, it's really simple. Would you like to see marijuana decriminalized? We're not trying to change minds. What we're trying to do is we're just trying to identify 10% of the 80% of people that already want to be here. And so it's not about arguing with people. You don't want to lose your energy, definitely. You're doing something really positive. You will have people that are so grateful and so thankful that you're doing what you're doing, and that's enough. So know that you're going to have the in any canvas time, you're going to have 1 to 10 people that are going to not be into what you're doing. Water off a duck's back, doesn't matter. They may have had someone that died due to drug use, and so they lump it all together, and marijuana means something to them. Or they may have a spiritual belief system that doesn't allow them to think that marijuana is okay. And so we're not trying to change those people's minds. We're just, we're first and foremost informing them that this is an issue that's out there on the street. People think it's important enough to stand out there and try and move this initiative forward.
And I think arguably like one of the most important things is really just telling people that this can be done, and that we really need their help to do it. I think at this stage of the campaign, volunteer recruitment it's really like the key to our success. The more people we can bring into the campaign and get active on the campaign is really what's going to drive this forward. So like talking to people, letting them know this is happening, and that they can have a say, that they can be part of something that's really going to change a terrible, terrible public policy.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is about making history, and part of that is we have to talk to our friends and family. That's where you practice. That's where you get your legs. Everyone knows someone in their family that's going to possibly be on the fence or not into it at all. Those are good people to be able to get a sense, get your chops up. What do you say when someone says X? And so, and you will find people who are like, absolutely, and they sign right up. And so that's already success. We're there every time we get another name.
That's why I carry it. You approach groups groups of people, or if there's all of you people out together dancing, like today, right? They'll come to you, right? They'll want to know what's going on. But if there's like groups of 2 or 4, then carry multiple clipboards, and as you're talking to them, hand them out to all the people, right? And keep talking to each of them, and then go back and get them, right? That's what I do, right? Sign up a whole group, and then okay, and then move on to the next one.
So Cindy has been amazing. Cindy's been amazing at building a team, and so I'd love it if you were to share a little bit about what you've done in Kelowna in fostering leadership, because we're all leaders here. We're all taking a leadership role, and Cindy has really taken that on board and ran with it. So I'd love to hear from you the work that you've done in Kelowna, if you don't mind.
Well, we faced some challenges over the winter, but they built a new archway walkover bridge. It's the only one that crosses Highway 97 on the whole route. So
Finally, they built a bridge.
It's a
They got it
walkover bridge,
completed?
right?
Damn.
Yeah. So like activists have been up there with all the causes, right? So we were up there in December. I made people come out in the winter every Friday. We were out there with our banners and signs. We have a couple of signs we made. And just wave at people, I think, was the greatest thing, like over the Christmas holiday, because the traffic in Kelowna, if you've all been there, is horrendous. And it's right in the middle of the traffic zone, so that was one thing that we did, because the city's also like doing construction downtown in our main place where we would go to the public, like near the parks and the lake. So it's been 4 months of construction. You saw it when you were there, right?
Wow,
It's completely blocked off. So we're just gonna wait another month. They're supposed to be done by the end of the month, and then we'll be back down there and we can set up. It's called the sales, right? We'll set up there, and that's gonna be our main focus place for this year.
And did you want to talk a little bit about how you've been fostering leadership in your group?
Well, we give people positions, right? Yeah, everyone's accountable for their bit of the whole. And that, I find it works really well.
Great. So what are some of the positions that you have set up?
We have like a media person, obviously. We have a secretary.
Volunteer coordinator?
Yeah, we have 3 volunteer coordinators, right, for different areas. And it's going to change now when I get back. There's going to be captains. We're going to create new positions, team captains, and then they're going to have volunteers underneath them.
Great.
That I'm going to get off the Nation Builder site. That I already know.
Yay. Awesome. And Kayla, can I put you on the spot and just ask you what's kind of worked for you? Because I know you've taken a leadership role here in Vancouver.
Yeah, for me, like I never canvassed before in my life or really volunteered like I have for Sensible BC. So in the beginning, I just kind of started going out there on my own. I remember the first day that I canvassed, it was nice outside. I was like, I'm going outside. Yeah, I would say a lot of stuff that Cindy said. Using more than one clipboard is the most efficient way. And going to areas where there's going to be more supporters, like every Saturday, I always try and go canvassing. I'm not good for now. And I found the most efficient, best spot is right outside here, because I get people from not just Vancouver but all over British Columbia. So if you want to collect fast signatures of a lot of registered voters, stand outside New Amsterdam and Cannabis Culture for sure.
No, that's my area.
Yeah, that's our
I'm fighting for that area.
Welcome.
Hi, all right.
Great. We did do a round where everyone introduced themselves.
Yeah, I was a
Can I
little
put you-
late, got
Can I
to sit
put,
around at Costco.
can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, sure. My name's Nick. I'm from New West right now. Originally from Ontario, just moved out here.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Actually,
Another one, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm just,
It's a wild
trying to do my part. I'm a medicinal marijuana user. Not sure what else to tell you. Just kind of new to campaigning. I've been doing some of the data entry.
Wonderful, thank you. So we were just getting into some of the nuts and bolts of actually canvassing. One thing that you'll appreciate actually is it's best if you can make sure that people know that they have to write clearly. So if you are passing out the clipboards and people are filling them out on their own, you want to encourage them to fill out every field, and you want to encourage them to write clearly. It's obviously better if there's a bigger sample size of the handwriting so that you're doing it yourself. However, getting a name is better than not getting a name. And so do encourage people to write clearly and to fill out every field. Now, I'm going to get into the sort of boring but incredibly important stuff, which is we need every field in this form filled out. If we don't have someone's email, it's a lot more time constraining to get a hold of them, and painful, in fact.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously, the more information we have on any person, the better. So, like, obviously, you're gonna run into people that are hesitant to give you certain pieces of information. Like, obviously, like, don't put them in a position where you're literally forcing them to write something down. But at the same time, like, it's okay to apply just a little bit of pressure. And because, like, really, like, if they want to be part of this campaign, then we do need to be able to contact them, and we do need to mobilize them as quickly as possible.
As you saw on the news, the government is allowing the homeless people, to bring their pill bottle as ID. People on my side of town don't have phone numbers and they don't have addresses. How's that going to affect my collecting signatures? Don't bother if I can't fill it all.
Get what you can.
Okay.
Absolutely, just get what you can. And some people are going to be like, no. If my contact information, I could get fired. There's obviously a lot of stigma around marijuana use, and people have valid concerns about giving their information. You can tell them that we take privacy laws seriously in Sensible BC, and that we will not share their information with anyone, period. And so you can let people know that. So name, address, postal code, all those things are important, city. Email and phone number, that's how we're going to get a hold of people. If people want to volunteer, we really do need their phone number, because email is just not as effective.
No, it's like an email, you'll get people that are going to self-select, obviously. So people that are very, very passionate, they're going to respond, they're going to come out. But like, you talk to someone face-to-face, you talk to them on the phone, they're far more likely to put in the time. Like, that's what really matters.
Because at the end of the day, just like when we did our round here, it's about personal connection and fostering that connection so that people are like, oh yeah, this really is important and we can do something. We can make history here in BC. There's other boring but important details, as in, are they a registered voter? We need to know that. If they aren't a registered voter, can you walk through that stuff?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so in order to be able to sign the official petition that we're going to have going around in the 90-day period from September to November, you need to be a registered voter, which means you need to be registered with Elections BC. So you can either do that before the election, after the election, or afterwards, like whatever the case is.
But before the signature collection period.
Yes. So if you're not a registered voter before we start in September, then you can still help us out on the campaign, but you can't actually sign the sheet. Because what they're going to do is they take each form and they match it against their voter list. So it's really, really important to, like, that's the first checkbox we have, and it's really the key. Because yeah, it's fine to get 400,000 signatures, but if you're not a registered voter, it doesn't really happen.
And so, yeah,
Oh, they're just messing with us.
So yeah, as far as the registered voter piece, I just want to dive in a little bit more, because this is kind of my soapbox. I think it's incredibly irritating that citizens, random citizens, have to cat to the bag.
Registered voters.
Let's let, sorry, I got a good one. Let's let the cat out of the bag. I went there. So, yeah, it's incredibly irritating to me that democracy works like this. So we have to, as a citizen, as the citizenry, we basically have to run an election to be able to have our voice heard. We have to collect the signatures. Each person that collects the signatures has to be registered with Elections BC. The people that sign the forms would have had to have been registered before the 90-day period, and the person that's signing has to be in the presence of a registered canvasser. We have to get 10% of all registered voters in every riding in British Columbia to sign in a 90-day period. Let me tell you, this pisses me off because this is not democracy.
That's right.
But we're gonna do it. So, I'm a registered voter, we need to know that. That's really key information.
What if they don't tell you if they're a registered voter?
You know what, you can't force anybody to
Well,
do
you know,
anything.
get them to sign anyways.
But
Yeah, you see most people are.
We live democracy.
You know how important it is.
yeah, Chris, we just do our best.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And people are free to do whatever they need to do, or whatever they're
Sometimes you
feeling.
wake up some too.
That's right, that's right. You do move minds, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not a registered DC voter since I just came out here. So can I not collect signatures?
There's an election happening May 14th, you better join up.
Yeah,
You
I haven't
live
been here that
BC,
long, so I
you
don't
live
know.
here in BC.
I think it's
Yeah.
6 months, and you said you were 2 months ago.
You live here in
No,
BC,
yeah.
look at May 14th.
Middle of April.
You're
But
eligible
there's two
voter.
parts though, right? And up until the pre-registering stuff, anybody can get involved in,
One at a
anybody
time.
can get signatures, it doesn't matter. It's only come
Are you
September when we start that clock to be a canvasser, to be an official canvasser. And everyone who's a canvasser has to fill a little form that I've got to sign and send to Elections BC. I'm going to be still signing hopefully thousands of these things. If you're not a registered voter, then you can't be a canvasser. There's still a lot you can do to help out the campaign in other ways.
Sure.
And between now and then, you can do whatever you want, but if you got to be a registered voter by September 1st to be a canvasser or to sign the official form.
So Nick, how long have you been here?
It said even if you're not an officially registered voter by then, there's a lot of other middle stuff you can do.
I think is it 3 months? I think it's 3 months before you. So yeah, like you should be. You can register within a few months. Yeah. As long as you're good to go by like August.
Okay.
And like, but I can still get people signing up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Between now and then, there's no restriction. Anybody can do stuff. In fact, anybody in Canada who can like volunteer, donate, or anybody in the world can help out in that regard.
It's a
Like,
filling run.
Even if you're in BC, but people can make phone calls from other provinces trying to get a phone bank in Toronto. Kind of off topic, but I mean, we are trying to get people all around the country and helping out, not just here in BC.
Ian?
Sir, if you just get a piece of BC ID that has your name, picture on it, by May 14th of this month, because there is a provincial election, correct? So you have to do a little bit of effort, go to actually do this stuff, and then you become eligible to vote in the BC election, and therefore you are eligible to vote in this. So
Okay.
therefore,
I just moved here from Ontario and I registered to vote on Elections BC, and you have to be a resident for 6 months before.
6 months.
So you
But
can't
you can
vote in the
fudge.
May
You can
election.
fudge. You can fudge it, why not?
If you have a BC driver's license, then you're already set. If you have a driver's license, then you should be able to register to vote.
They send it to you within a week too, so you would get it on top.
So therefore,
Get on it.
get on it, get elected, what the hell? BC, vote.
And either way, your volunteer energy is amazing. So if you
Yeah,
run
go
into
for it.
people who are unable to actually sign, but they're passionate about the issue, those people are going to be some of the most profound advocates they can, because they can't do the thing, but they really want to do something. And so that leads us into the next checkbox, which is I want to volunteer. Now, yes, I'm a registered voter is the most important, but I think that I want to volunteer is the most important. I'm going to duke you out on that one.
No, I completely agree.
So what we're really needing at this point is we're needing to grow our volunteer base. So, thank you all so much for being here. We need to replicate. And so part of what we're doing when we're out there collecting signatures is we're looking for other people who are also willing to volunteer. And so every person that you come across, you want to ask them, are you a registered voter? Get that out of the way for the gold, which is, are you willing to volunteer? Because we need thousands of people across the province as soon as we can get them. And so there's also opt-out of campaign updates. We do take people's email addresses. You want to underline the fact that we take privacy law seriously. We do send campaign updates so that people are aware of what's going on. People can opt out of that if they only want to be contacted to get their signature. And so that's really important. And there's also a checkbox on the newer forms that are, I'd like to donate. We'll follow up with those people. This campaign also needs resources, and so you can ask people that as well to help us to fund the campaign. So I think it might be time to go into a little bit of role playing as far as actually canvassing goes. Maybe there's a volunteer who'd be willing to be either a canvasser or a canvassee. I'm totally not looking at you, Kayla.
I'll do it.
Very much.
Great. So we're going to just do a couple of examples of different types of people. And so who wants to be the canvasser and who wants to be the canvassee? Okay, fantastic.
Oh, what do you want us to do? Kayla, they see you.
They say it's Vancouver, first sunny day, anyhow, with sensible BC.
What's like the situation that we're in?
Yeah, what is the situation?
I'm at a ferry line up at
He's in Providence.
South Turner Island.
Okay, great.
I'm at a ferry line. You're tourists from God knows where, but you have BC driver's license, you have BC plates on your car, so you're obviously from BC. So why are you a registered voter?
No, I know.
I'm a sensible BC. We're having a provincial election this month. It's helped to bring up another sensible BC, I think, is the marijuana laws.
I support this, but I'm not a registered voter.
You're not registered?
Yeah, how do I register a voter?
You can get, if you're a resident of BC for 6 months, you can get registered for a provincial election coming up, 14th.
Would I be able to sign that now?
Once you become a registered voter in BC, you'll be able to sign this, and you'll be able to discuss the sensible marijuana laws in BC.
Can you tell me a little bit about Sensible BC?
Do you know exactly what marijuana laws are in BC? As they stand?
You cannot produce, traffic, and possess cannabis unless you're a legal exempt.
What amounts?
No amounts.
Well, 6 plants, 12 plants?
No, we don't have that in Canada.
Well, this is simple possession, or possession for trafficking. No, these are all the marijuana laws that people are going to be sentenced to 6 months, 2 years.
No,
simply possessing 7 marijuana plants, they're going to spend 6 months in jail.
No, I understand that, but I was telling you that in Canada, currently the laws are you cannot produce, traffic, or possess any amounts of marijuana.
But that's the marijuana laws as they stand in DC. And we want to do, like was done before, changing a very unpopular tax, HST. It was voted down by voters of BC, and we want voters of BC to do it once again. To vote
I'm fully in support. I just can't sign up.
sensible. Well, you have to get out there and look at what.
Okay, awesome discussion, awesome discussion. I'm gonna do one with Kayla and start off the game.
Yeah.
You want to start? That's the marijuana laws.
States Washington State's gonna be legalized in December 6th of this year. And then their proposition that they voted for in the last election is going to be valid, and there's going to be distributors up and down I-5 selling printed pot, and we get people put in jail for it in BC. Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much, that's awesome. Do you want to be the canvasser or the canvassee?
I'll be the canvassee, I guess.
Okay. Are you interested in decriminalizing marijuana?
Yes, I am. What do
awesome.
I need to do?
Fantastic. Well, I'm with Sensible BC, and we're just pre-registering folks for a referendum we want to do in the fall. So yeah, if you want to just fill out your name, address, phone numbers, and so we can get in contact with you when we need to get your signature in the form.
I'm a little uncomfortable just giving my information like this.
Okay.
Can you just tell me a little bit
Sure.
more about it so that way I understand?
Great. Well, what we're aiming to do is a referendum in 2014, and to do that, we need to get 10% of all registered voters to sign in the fall. But obviously, that's a huge task, and so we need to pre-register people so we can let them know when we need to get their signature in the fall, so we can be in contact. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'll just let you know that we take privacy law really seriously, so your information is not going to be shared at all with anyone.
Okay.
Fantastic. Great. Are you a registered voter?
Yes.
Fantastic. Would you consider volunteering?
What kind of things do you do for volunteering?
There's data entry, there's canvassing and talking to friends and family, and there's team leaders, and oh yeah, phoning.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And would you consider donating to the cause?
I don't have any money on me now.
Okay, that's cool. No,
I do not want.
we just, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't take it now. We just, Sensible BC would follow up with you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Great, awesome. See, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for supporting this kind of campaign.
Great.
I believe in it too.
Awesome. Okay, do you want to be a no?
Sure.
Great.
Unless someone else wants to.
Are you interested in decriminalizing marijuana?
No.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Okay.
Really, it's as easy as that.
I've got a couple of things to that. You will have flyers, you should have a couple of flyers with you, and if the person wants more information or wants to just think more, you can talk to them, but you can also give them a flyer that they can look at. Or, you know, if they have detailed questions about what's going on with the campaign or what the legislation actually is. But I will also try to mention that we want to decriminalize marijuana possession in British Columbia. If they ask what we're trying to do, like, that's the short explanation of what we're trying to do. We're going to decriminalize marijuana possession in British Columbia with the referendum. If they ask more questions, you can give more stuff, but that's the one sentence explanation of what Sensible BC is. Decriminalize marijuana possession in BC with the referendum. And that's sort of the essence of what, because you don't always get a chance. People might ask more questions on how can you do that or whatever, and then you can engage them. But otherwise, you just want to try to ideally get their information and move on to the next person as fast as possible. You don't necessarily want to have long conversations with people. Unless they want to volunteer and donate and they're excited. Then you can talk to them. And especially if they say no, like she said, you're not debating people is not worth your time. If someone's against it, if they have a question and they want to talk, okay, but if they're just against it or they're not into it, don't try to convert them, just okay, great. Because the other 3 people that you talk to are all going to be into it. You know, 1 in 4 is probably going to be against it. Just ignore those people. You're not trying to really convert people so much as teach them that BC can decriminalize marijuana with the referendum. Sign this to make it happen.
I use the analogy of the antiquated law of, I tell people, you know how there used to be a law that you can't walk your cow down the sidewalk on Sundays? That's how we want to make pot laws. And that's
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, that's I probably wouldn't use that
You got them right there.
metaphor, but the idea that we're going to reduce enforcement, stop enforcement. If people have stuff, you can get into more detail, or you can just give a flyer and say, read this, and it'll explain what's going on. But like, I mean, people might have questions about certain things. Oh, I thought it was decriminalized already. Well, no, actually, marijuana charges have doubled in BC. It's only in Vancouver where there's a sort of zone of tolerance. We want the rest of the province to do what Vancouver's already doing. Stop busting marijuana users. And then, you know, people might have other questions and stuff, but the focus is to get their information, give them a flyer if they have more questions, and then move on to the next person.
And also check out the website, right? Our new website now, we can say, right? That we always end with that. Usually people say no, it's like, well, okay, check out the website.
That's right.
Right, you know.
I find carrying the cards, a card and a pamphlet.
Yeah.
And the website, I always say the website, because some people, I'm not on Facebook and I did the tweet or, and get on. But yeah, and check out the videos, check out the meetings that have been happening, you know. I mentioned also that there's old officers that are retired now that are helping us, and you know, like they're on board because that money could be channeled into real crime that kills people. You know, redirect that energy you know, that's the prohibition that
That's,
kills.
and that's
Again,
our polling. We did a big poll in BC to ask people what they thought about this question, if they supported our specific law and that kind of stuff. That's where we get the roughly 75% number from for support. And the things that were most compelling to people were refocusing police resources, wasting taxpayer money, and I think that was kind of the main one.
Safer than alcohol.
And then it's like alcohol and should be treated
yeah,
like
to protect
alcohol.
the children.
I mean, for me, those are the most. I think human rights and civil rights and not filling up our
I
prisons.
know.
Those are the things that resonate with me.
Absolutely.
But for most people in the province, those are the issues that they're most likely to go, yeah, I agree with that.
Organized
Even
crime.
people who didn't necessarily support decreasing.
Food for you,